What were your politics like about 2015 or so?
That's an interesting thought. I was kind of at a transition point right at that time. For the last 2014, 2015, I'd been really kind of starting to get into libertarian politics. I'd started listening to Tom Woods. I'd started listening to Jason, and I came from growing up very conservative Christian, very rah rah about George Bush kind of, and then in college I'd been very interested in student loan forgiveness, and so I'd been very
Oh,
intrigued by
that's
Bernie
right.
Sanders and Elizabeth Warren talking about free college, and that was what had got me into studying economics, which led me kind of back into libertarianism. I'd been exposed to him through Ron Paul, through my dad in the mid 2000s. Actually, 2008 was the first year I ever voted, and I wrote in Ron Paul. Um, so, uh, so I was going down the libertarian rabbit hole right in the 2014, 2015 time. I had a couple of jobs that involved really long commutes. So I was listening to audiobooks and podcasts like crazy. So I listened to all the Murray Rothbard, all the Mises, all the, um, like I said, Tom Woods, Bastiat. I listened to like all the classics economics in one lesson, just plowing through them. It was all I did whenever I wasn't at work. I was just focused on that. And so then I got pretty active in the Facebook group there, and on Facebook in general. I was just kind of posting. I was in lots of different groups, arguing with people about stuff all the time, and kind of honing my chops and encountering new ideas and figuring out how to overcome them, and then being recommended new things to go read and or listen to, and I kind of did the typical standard progression from uh, libertarian leaning to libertarian to actually specifically I'm a minarchist
Mm.
to full ANCAP, and that was around the time that I around the time we moved to Southern California and I started co-hosting Wealth, Power, and Influence, or at the time the Jason Stapleton program, and once again now the Jason Stapleton program. Um, at that time, I was as hardcore of an ANCAP as I know. There was like I was as my goal was that I was going to attach myself as rigidly and precisely to the purest Rothbardian anarcho-capitalism that I could. Um, and yeah, that was kind of the point of view that I had heading into the pre-COVID era. And I've always had kind of a right wing bent from kind of coming from my background. Um, but I'm also, if you take the what's it called, the Big Five personality assessment that Jordan Peterson offers, I think it's understandmyself.com. You can take, it's like $10, pretty interesting test. And I'm like 98th percentile in openness. So I'm incredibly open, which is typically not a conservative trait. Conservatives
Right.
tend to be very low in openness. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely have a very conservative background. I have a very right wing view of the world, but I'm also very, very high in openness. So it's kind of, it makes me like the plus side of it would be I'm very, very open minded and curious, and it's easy to change my mind about the evidence when the evidence changes in front of me. I'm not attached to the old ideas. The potential risk for me is that it can make me an entirely pragmatic person. It's pure pragmatism. I can have no consideration for morality or ethics or principles at all. Um, because those are, it's like, well, those just don't, those are like standards that I don't want to abide to because I want to pursue my openness.
Hmm.
So those are kind of the two sides of the psychology that are sort of warring back and forth within me, and that has kind of driven the evolution of my thinking. I've seen it as one kind of nonstop, um, like a drilling down deeper and deeper and deeper, and trying to distill things, trying to get to the absolute essence. And I didn't when I got to the point where I realized I'm not an ANCAP anymore, and got to the point where even now, like now, I don't even want to associate myself with the label of libertarian.
You're right.
Like I don't want to be seen that way at all. Um, I don't mind if people know that I used to be a libertarian, but I want people to know now that I'm not. And that like it doesn't feel to me like I U-turned anywhere. It doesn't feel to me
Right.
like I veered off course. I continued on the exact same trajectory and just kept sloughing off more and more, um, like dead wood. The dead
Mm.
wood's getting sloughed off and making it purer and purer. And at one point, I thought that I'd sloughed off all the dead wood and I was an ANCAP. But then I realized I had more dead wood to slough off, and I did that. And now I'm a Christian.